Yo, what's up guys? So apparently Victoria Day isn't celebrated in the States. So the US side was open today. We saw names like PLTR, which I'm going to go over in a bit over this week's breakdown. But names like PLTR had a good day. We didn't have any Canadian names playing like Glxy, MMED, Air Canada. Those names weren't open today. The market was closed on the Canadian side. And next Monday, I believe the American markets will be closed on the Monday. So we're going to get right into this weekly breakdown. Actually, before that, I'm just letting you guys know for next month, I won't be making any videos or weekly updates because I'm going to be starting my apprenticeship. So I'm out in Orangeville for all of next month, and I'm not really going to be at home with my PC, having my equipment with me. I'm going to be focused on a bunch of different other things. So I'm still going to be posting about the market, just not like in-depth videos or anything like that. So just thought I'd let you guys know in case you had questions. Shoot me a DM. But let's get into it. So let's look into BTC and ETH. So is this the top, right? That's what we need to figure out. Is this the top? Like, is this bull run that we happened to go from last March? I believe it was, so 1,500% in total. Is that the full extent of it? We don't know. But if you understand, like, I really encourage right now is the time to double down on the learning. What is Bitcoin? Like, what is the use case for Bitcoin? What is the use case for Ethereum? Learn what those are, and then you'll start to realize, and maybe you can come up with a thesis for yourself on after you learn a little bit more about it, but you'll start to see the potentials for how disruptive it could be in terms of making a new financial system. So Bitcoin has already kind of disrupted the currency standpoint from a whole financial like system standpoint. Like, you got to look into all the other altcoins in Ethereum and how they can do that, because I believe there's some value there, and I think that it's inevitable that crypto's its own market. So you got to respect the fact that there's insane volatility, respect the risk, don't be using leverage. Well, use leverage safely, but like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, don't be putting dumb amounts of money like that you might need to pay bills, that you might need to, keep sanity and be sane into Bitcoin and Ethereum, because like you've seen in the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, okay, since mid-April, that was the top in Bitcoin. But ETH, you've seen this big drawdown too in a little bit of shorter time frame. But 55% from a standpoint of like gathering shares of a stock that's in a massive uptrend, this looks like a nice spot. It looks like a great place to buy the dip. It could be the top. So what we might see is we have this high, low, lower high, lower low. Are we going to get another lower high and then we continue the downtrend? Now, it could be possible, but what we need to pay attention of is 30,000. 30,000. If we break below 30,000, then it might look a little bit scary. But the way we held 30K was massive, and I believe that's where like Elon and that's where like the institutional buying started to get in. Then again, it's all charts, right? So who knows? This downtrend could keep going. What I'd be looking for is at the bottom of this range, are we going to create a triangle? So if we do get that lower high, are we going to create some sort of triangle down here where we're not breaking down and we start to get higher and higher and higher? If so, that's a bullish case for Bitcoin. I like that. It looks like it's a great time to be gathering some Bitcoin right now. I'm really excited because the past few months, since I haven't been working, I haven't been making like a steady income, which means I haven't been able to be adding to my investments. So I'm really excited to start working again and start buying BTC. I just recently got a hardware wallet. It's the classic treasure, I believe. So I'm excited to start actually gathering BTC and Ethereum more frequently now. And I'm starting to look into other cryptos that might be disrupting the space. I'm looking into ADA, Link, Aave as well, just to name a few. But I'm excited. Crypto's very exciting. I'm starting to really get those, like dive into it and learn more. And that's a fun part about cryptos. There's so much to learn. So Ethereum, now, geez, this chart, What a pullback. So that's I believe that's within 2 weeks, a 60% pullback. It pulled back to 2K and it held 2K real nice. It did break below a little bit, went to 1700, but I think it went down there for just a bit. It's holding nice. Again, I'd be looking for this. Are we gonna get that nice high? We broke down. Are we gonna get a lower high? Because then it would indicate that the trend is changing, right? So there might be a lower high, but then are we going to create like a W pattern where we just like we shoot right back up? So very interesting things in crypto. Ethereum and Bitcoin are the two main staples right now because they're actually being used, right? From what I understand and what I've learned through crypto is that it moves very fast. Like things and patterns that I notice in crypto, they react quicker than compared to stocks, we'll say. Keep that in mind. Like, can you handle the volatility? Don't like, and even more so, it helps when you understand the charts and you understand trends, because you'll understand that, like, sure, when ETH reaches 4K, it might not be the best time to buy right now in this moment, but overall this trend is leading beautiful. You know what I mean? Man, I'm so bullish on crypto. But those are the two names I'm focusing on: Ethereum and Bitcoin when it comes to the crypto space. So far, these charts look like they took a big beat down, but the fact that ETH is holding 2K and BTC is holding 30K is insane. Insane. So DeFi. So I think this is a name we should really start paying attention to now, because it looks like we're getting a strong base at these levels. If this is not the bottom for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then say we get another bull run out of the whole space and we start seeing altcoins going crazy, this name's going to go crazy too. DeFi is probably going to end up running. We had highs of 320, right? From here, that's 150% trade. Like, that's nice. So if you're not willing to get into like getting a crypto wallet, but you want some exposure to crypto, look at Glxy, look at DeFi, look at Hive, look at Riot, look at those names. These are the names that are gonna help get you some exposure to some of the volatility that comes out of that space. So we have Cbdt. This is one of those ganja names. I like what it's doing right now. We have this like channel going on to the downside. It looked like we broke out of it, and now we're starting to go sideways. If we don't break down and we don't break below 50 cents, which is this lower level right here, I really like the odds of this turning around, because it looks like we have that nice move, high, low, higher, high, and then we start to change the trend a bit. But now that we're basing out and things are starting to go sideways, we could look for the potential momentum to bring us back to the upside. At least test, like when we use the fibs, we could at least test maybe the 0.382 previous highs at $1. So it could be a name to keep on the watch list. Keep a Cbdt on there. Alrighty, so my battery died. Nice, that's great. So my battery died. Onward, we're now onto Pltr. Looks pretty nice from here. I'm liking the idea of gathering shares. I'm liking this from a long-term perspective, because man, something about this chart just tells me when we get that next tech run, this is going to be a popular name. We have this descending channel going on again, right? I'm thinking that if we could hold this 20 moving average, right? Because we weren't able to hold it. We broke over, and we rejected each time. Rejection. If we could hold it this time instead of getting rejected, that's a bullish case. It's a change in the stock's movement, right? So we could safely say that if it's holding the 20 moving average, it breaks out of this channel, it's starting a new trend. And by starting a new trend, we could then tackle the battle of this $30 supply zone up here. Once we break over this stock it's see you later. This is the major zone. $30 is the major zone that if we could break that eventually, then this thing's going to the moon. But right now, what I'm seeing is we're playing in this descending channel. We want to hold that 20 EMA. If we can hold that, it's looking great for Pltr. Glxy. So Bitcoin pulling back big time, 50%. We have this nice little ABC correction in Glxy, right? ABC correction. We're at a major point in the chart. This right here, we could say, is like where this chart pretty much was, it started to coil up and get ready to break out. So it's like where it started breaking. We're now back at that. I believe it's a great opportunity to buy. This uptrend is beautiful. It could be the top, right? What happens if this is the top? Well, then I'm going to be expecting Glxy to be doing a lower high again. And then we break down a lower low. And then we slowly break down this demand zone. Because this was once a supply area. Now it's a demand area. Bounce. We come back again. We're going to potentially, we'll see a bounce. Maybe what we might see is a gap down, and then we get bought up heavily into this zone. But overall, this is like some people's exposure to Bitcoin. Like if overall the overall thesis on Bitcoin is the technology behind the currency and like the code itself and how it's now a store of value instead of like just something to trade. Like if you're using it as that, right? If you're putting in, say, 10% of your income into Bitcoin over time, you're going to make probably lots of money over time, right? If people continue to if people start to use that and they continue to use it like that, names like Glxy in the medium to long term are going to perform extremely well with BTC. I think Glxy is a great hold. I'm holding it right now. I have not sold yet. If I see something absolutely horrible, then maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But overall, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. I wouldn't really sell my Glxy. I, in fact, do think it's a nice time to buy. We could have that potential volume climax to the downside again into a demand zone. I don't know. It's just there's too many things. They're trying to make us capitulate around this area. I'm not falling for it. So we got Air Canada here. I like how we held the golden pocket. We made a higher low. Now we're just riding this 20 moving average, right? It could be a nice slow move to the upside. It's nice and slow. Could be that. We'll have to see. Overall, I'm starting to like what it's doing in terms of like likelihood of being a successful trade to the upside. If it can't break over this 2650 range, I'd say, then I'd probably keep my eyes off of it. Airbnb, I would add this one to the watch list. We have a potential volume climax to the downside. It IPO'd back in December, right? We had a nice kind of bullish run to the upside. Now we're kind of back down and we're at this base level here at around 130 range, where now it is bear flagging, to be said. I'll keep that in mind. It is definitely bear flagging here. So it could continue downward. But to be fair, if it does base in this area, it would be an interesting company to pay attention to. If this thing wants to make a weird run, because all of a sudden now that everything is going to be reopening, everyone's going to be using Airbnb to stay places, right? Like it could be one of those names that just friggin' inevitably just runs, right? So just keep it on the watch list. I definitely think it's worth it. And we're back at Bitcoin, and that's the weekly ticker breakdown. So I will see you guys on the Neo update, and then for a month I'll be out of here. So cheers, guys. Enjoy the week. This weather is beautiful. Get out there. The nature is beautiful, man. Easy, guys.